The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. Taking it about the 1. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down. So this game, Charles, you know, we talk about potential unbeaten seasons a lot. It feels like every year at some point in the season we talk about that. But this is one of those games where if you're unbeaten, you got to be careful. You can't take this one too lightly.
You're exactly right about that, and by rights, this should be a cakewalk. Almost a week off. Let the starters run up the score in the first half. Backups get to play in the second. But you and I both know the funny things sometimes happen when you think this way. So it's incumbent upon the starters to really play well to make it work for this team.
Allen going to try and throw on third down. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Here's the punter, Martin, out to kick it away. The danger of a punt that good, a 16-yard return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. They start the drive with Cook. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Well, this defense for the Bills, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
Yeah, they only allowed 13 points, and you can poll all 32 coaches, and I guarantee you they'd say, we'll take that every single week. But let me think about that for a second. Maybe there would be one contrarian that would say, give me 10.
On the Jets sweep, here comes Jefferson. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Well, I sure wouldn't be surprised if we see more of this as this game goes on, because we know they like to use their wideouts either on quick throws or on jet sweeps like what we just saw there. And to say that that one worked well, partner, that's stating the obvious.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. 3rd down, Dalvin Cook. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Ryan Wright. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it's so
kicks in, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Throwing on first down is Allen. That's caught by Gabriel Davis. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. From just shy of midfield, Allen. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary. All of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Allen. He's got a man, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's a first down with a cherry on top, 31 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver. And as this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. So the shotgun snap to Allen. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
This is where good coaching and execution come into play, because down this close, you absolutely don't want to turn it over. Good job keeping that in mind as he escaped, bought time, and decided throwing it away was his best option.
Now Allen again. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete.
That was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football. Worked so hard to get his feet down inbounds, tried to do the toe tap. My dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one.
Is he really, by the way?
That he is.
How about that? What about young Davis?
No, it did not. It did not cross.
It didn't carry over.
No, it stopped right there.
Throwing is Allen on 3rd. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Against a team coming off a win, just as your team did the previous week, you talk about being physical all game long. Sometimes being physical is just being on the spot and helping force the incompletion.
McPherson's kick is good, and the Bills will take a 3-0 lead. Well, both teams kind of feeling each other out here. Now after 3 drives, we have a score with that field goal.
Yeah, they're still waiting for their breakout drive to come to them, all right? They're using the playbook well. They're looking for that extra section that says touchdowns instead of field goals. But they'll take the 3 for now and try and get set up for more later.
Kenny Nwagu now out of his end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. 1-7, their record here at the midway point of the season. And right now, this organization, more than likely, if you look at it, CD, probably in for a rough second half of the season.
Well, we've seen teams turn things around in other places. I mean, we've seen 1-7 first halves turn into 5-3 second halves. But with this squad, I think these guys aren't playing to get into the playoffs. They're playing for their jobs. So's the coaching staff. They're coaching for theirs. Front office trying to keep theirs. The heat is on from all directions. And what's interesting is a lot of these guys are playing for jobs and trying to keep their positions. It might be just in the league in some other spot.
Cousins going to bat it forward here on the jet sweep. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, that maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Allen now looks to throw. This one caught by Davis. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 14 yards, and the Bills will get a new set of downs. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Buffalo. George Kittle, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Bills are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Fielded just inside the 30. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. Throwing now is Allen. Oh, he'll look downfield for Kittle. That's into a crowd and intercepted. And the Vikings are going to get possession of the football as time will run out on this first quarter of play. 10-0 the score after one on EA Sports. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 at the 40. Following the interception, Cousins. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now an end around as Cousins will just pop this forward. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. The Vikings on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. To throw is Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere. But it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Allen now on 1st down. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Patrick Jones, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Looking deep for Adams. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one, weren't able to do so.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Allen. And that is incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. And we'll see what he can do on the return. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Give the credit there to Jordan Phillips getting in the backfield for the tackle for loss. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. To throw, Cousins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now this is picked up by the Bills. So they've got the football, and they'll start right on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Look over, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Throwing to start the drive, but that went incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into a bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
56. All 52. 5 wide.
Allen will try again on 2nd down. He's got Adams on the comebacker. And the Bills are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover. And they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Now Allen. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
That's a really nice job there by the coverage, understanding that they're in a high-stakes situation. If he doesn't make a play on that ball, there's an excellent chance it ends up either as a touchdown or as a nice gain downfield.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. On play action, Allen. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And that will get out of bounds. Lucky there. They keep possession inside the 5. Thankfully for the offense, a fortuitous bounce there on the fumble goes out of bounds because they're down here in the red zone. You don't want to lose one there.
You don't want to lose one. And the best part, because it went out of bounds, they retain possessions.
And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. George Kittle, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes our score 17-0. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're still in search of an initial 1st down as they come up here 1st and 10. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
We know he has a lot of confidence in his arm and likes to force it downfield, but the coverage was tight there. Fortunate it wasn't picked off.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Cousins going to bat it forward here on the jet sweep. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the 1st. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end or the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify, I said getting their wideouts involved in the run game, but of course that was actually a pass as he popped it forward. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. Looking to find a lane, but he can't rein in at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Cousins. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Kyle Hamilton picks it. 2nd quarter action, 1:56 remaining. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. So after the INT, it's Allen. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups. And they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From midfield, here's Allen. Oh, Allen cannot get away, and down he goes. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. Operating from the gun, Allen. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. 1st down, and they're going to throw with Allen. He hits Adams, complete. Touchdown. Devontae Adams, 37 yards. And the Bills are able to widen their lead here in this 1st half. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Nwangu now from his end zone. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And they'll have great field position here as the ball will be at the 15-yard line.
And in our meeting with the special teams coordinator, we asked him, what's your philosophy on bringing the ball out? Do you give him a red light? Do you keep him in? Green light, let him go? Let's see if he changes from green light to red light after that costly error.
Yeah, you know what I remember from that meeting? He brought donuts.
I like him.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
but he's not happy right now.
No, don't tell everyone how many I had.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Mixing up the middle. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs.
And the Bills are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first and goal. To the air, Allen. Touchdown, Bills! Devontae Adams in the final seconds of the first half. And the Bills would extend their lead here just before halftime. McPherson on for the point after. And the lead is now an even 30.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away.
It's a squibber picked up around the 27.
They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position.
Final play of the half, Cousins. Forced, and he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin.
The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. Nwangu now from his end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. A CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it.
He tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Kyle Hamilton picks it.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half that's carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
Allen's throw taken in by Diggs. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown.
Joe Mixon with his 14th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Bills take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Meanwhile, Cousins' throw complete to his receiver, Thielen. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
Cousins to throw it. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Micah Hyde.
And the Bills are going to take over at their own 41.
Well, it certainly feels like this defensive group has figured this guy out to the tune of a big lead in this one. And you know that he's frustrated with how this game has gone. And now with back-to-back interceptions, he's got to find a way to get out of his own head and start making better plays.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive.
They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a second and short. To throw, it's Allen. Escaping the pressure right. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Allen off the play fake. Flush to his right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. He couldn't get away there on third down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12. And whistle blown. A timeout here is taken, and it's taken by the kicking team. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. So the field goal unit is coming on here, and boy, this is going to be darn near impossible. And they say officially it's a 68-yard attempt. And this is off target to the left, didn't get there anyway. It's no good, but that's just a minor blip here in what's been a thoroughly dominating performance.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Good field position to start the drive after the missed field goal. Here's first down from the 42. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Kyle Hamilton picks it, and the Bills are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
Yes, folks, that is his third interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Going deep for Diggs. Well, this is taken in. It's complete.
And he will step out of bounds all the way down inside the 40.
A big play here for Buffalo. 45 yards.
That's a well-thrown ball right there. This is where arm strength pays off, because he's got to be able to get the ball both downfield and to the sideline. And that's one of the more difficult throws for a quarterback, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Going deep for Diggs. Touchdown. Stephon Diggs. 36 yards.
And the Bills take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points. Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
We're in the third quarter in upstate New York with a 2nd and 10.
Throwing is Cousins. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They'll throw again. Cousins.
And that's complete to K.J. Osborne.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. A lot of talk this week about ball security and
fact, they added an extra period in practice to be more secure with the ball. It didn't work out there.
Well, sometimes you just get overexcited during the game. You may all of a sudden make your catch, see some open field, and decide you're going for it, and not realizing the danger lurks while you're doing so, and there's your end result right there. And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Davis. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. From the gun, it's Allen. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking deep for Adams. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
Fielded at the 20. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They go play action. Cousins. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break contain and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Cousins. And now another one thrown incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
And here's Ryan Wright now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. A good kick, 49 yards, just 3 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Well, up big, but still not hesitating to take some shots downfield, CD. I guess they really want to hammer home their dominance in this one.
Yeah, that much is apparent, partner. If they keep completing throws like that, they'll keep that gap awfully wide as they've established already.
Three quarters have come and gone. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Now it's Mixon running right.
What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run.
That's over 40 yards of movement with those last two plays. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much for the first three quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
Operating from the red zone now, Allen. He will find Diggs in the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stephon Diggs, his second touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Bills add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Nuwanger now from his end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
We certainly had a sin.
And now here is another interception.
Kyle Hamilton picks it.
Yet another mistake after the interception there. And guys, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. They'll stay on the ground, Mixon again. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
53 yards on the ground for him so far.
So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance in guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Allen taking it himself. Yeah, this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
I'm only chuckling because I remember one of my coaches talking about, yeah, well, if you need 2, you better get 2. If you only get 1, that's not a successful play, and that's what they got.
Yeah, tried to sneak for 2. We know that can be tough. It showed tough there.
McPherson's kick is good.
And the Bills will add on to their lead.
Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
It's been a tough go for them. It's still without any points here in the 4th quarter. And a big deficit, Charles, but they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board. So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right?
Now Cook hit and he lost the football.
Now this is picked up by the Bills. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the fourth quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out. Inside handoff to Mixon, and he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now a first carry for their fullback. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5. Here's a give to Mixon. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
On for the field goal now is Evan McPherson.
From the right hash, and this one just a chippy.
McPherson's kick is good.
And the Bills will add on to their lead.
They come through with 3 after forcing the turnover. But CD's second half, he was starting inside the red zone. Obviously, they would have liked 6 out of that.
Absolutely, because that's all you're thinking is how do you get it into the end zone? You want the field goal to be the last resort. In this case, they gave it a great try, but did have to settle for 3.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
On 2nd down, Cook. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Just a yard on the run there. That's going to bring us to a 4th down. Another carry, same story. 4th quarter, and he is in red numbers right now with a running game.
Hard to believe because you figure at some point you break off a run. But in this case, what we're seeing is just pure domination by the defense. I think it started with the scouting report. They got into what they were doing offensively, into their mindset, and now they're beating them to the punch on every snap.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive.
And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And control of the football, switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. Just what silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run, have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
So it's a victory here for the Buffalo Bills. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Buffalo, the train just keeps rolling. 9-0 now to start this campaign. And they'll get another home date next week as the Browns will come to town. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, the difficult season continues as they drop to 1-8. And they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Dallas Cowboys.